Good morning, everyone. We're heading out on a log pickup recovery thing today. The tree itself is an elm tree. It is like 48 inches in diameter or so, and it goes up about 12 feet before it hits the first crotch. It goes up another few feet, hits another big crotch. So there's those two sections for sure that we'll be able to recover today. This is an extremely sentimental tree, and unfortunately it was damaged pretty heavily in a storm a few years ago. The arborists at SavATree have been working to try and keep it going, trying to get it to recover from that damage, but unfortunately it has succumbed to that, and the hard decision has been made to actually remove the tree. So that's what's happening today. Let's get driving and get over there. Oh, I guess I forgot to mention this too. There's a crane job, so it's all getting craned out. That main section is about all the crane can pick at the distance it has to go. So that's gonna work out pretty well, I think. We'll get that section craned onto the trailer and we'll see what else from the tree we can actually salvage. Okay, looks like everybody's kind of getting here, getting set up. The crane just pulled in. I'm gonna see if I can find Austin to see if he can tell us a bit about the history of the tree and how they've been trying to save it.
So I'm Austin with SavATree. We've been working with Jenny here for the last 8 or 9 years, trying to save her elm trees here. She's been protecting them from Dutch elm disease, as well as putting in a lot of cables to help support things. This tree in the backyard, it's a 48-inch diameter elm, American elm, and it's the last couple of years it's suffered quite a bit of storm damage and lost a significant amount of the canopy. After last summer, we kind of felt like we crossed the line, so we've decided to take it down just to kind of mitigate some of the hazard. Yeah, you can see here, it's a pretty significant tree. It's definitely been here a long time, but you can see kind of this entire left side has lost the majority of the canopy. You can also see the dangling cables. We've made multiple attempts to kind of hold this thing together, and it just, yeah, it's been kind of a downhill battle. So Jenny, yeah, you know, her and her husband picked this house, I believe, kind of based off of the trees and the canopy they were getting, so it's kind of an emotional one for them.
It's gorgeous because you're like, the house is in the canopy of all these trees. So it's almost like the house is in the woods somewhere.
Yeah. It's a big change for sure. So, and it's got a lot of these like almost like borderline aerial roots that have come out, so I think there's going to be a ton of character in that log. It's pretty significant to be considered an aerial root, but it's kind of what it looks like. You know, it's odd. It's so, I think down in here, you're going to get a lot of pretty crazy character. This one here too on this side where it's kind of completely bowed out.
It's kind of gnarly. It's cool.
It's neat, yeah. Yeah, it's been protected for Dutch elm since like 2014, I think.
You guys have had it for a long time.
Long time, yeah. It's been a big process. So, and it's been really positive up until the last year or so. It's kind of been a more sad story. So, but with the Minnesota summer storms, there just comes a time, you know.
It can't withstand storms anymore. That kind of
exactly. Yeah, I think with the canopy loss up there, it's now being exposed to so much new wind that it hasn't seen and new sun that it hasn't seen. We expect a pretty heavy growth response over the next couple of years. Combine that with the new exposure to wind, I think it's going to get ugly, I think. So, yeah.
This is the swing, so when this comes out, this is an extremely important part of the tree. Yeah, we're going to try to relocate it for them at another time. But if you can get it untied while tying, that's great. If you can't and we have to pick it, just make sure when this gets set down, you set it down gently on the other side and make sure it's protected.
Okay, the crew is going to get started. They need to get their lift into the backyard with the crane. They're planning on opening a hole in the canopy with it sitting in the neighbor's yard before transferring the lift over the fence once there's a big enough hole to work through. And while they're getting the lift rigged to the crane, I can tell you a little bit about the backstory of this tree. So Jenny and her husband fell in love with this property as they were looking for a place to start their family. The tree coverage made it feel secluded, as if they weren't in the city, so losing the tree coverage is going to be a huge shock. But what really makes this tree sentimental is the swing. Jenny's husband made it from a salvaged board of white oak. Their kids have so many great memories of swinging on it, and because the ropes are so long, it's especially fun for adults. Sadly, Jenny's husband passed away a few years ago, and the swing and the tree have become a living memory of a husband and a father whose kids didn't have that much time with him. So it's an especially sad and difficult day for them to watch the tree go, since they have so many great and vivid memories of him wrapped up in this tree.
we called Austin. He's gonna. There's somewhere that takes them.
Oh,
So
cool.
we're gonna try to get get in contact.
Yeah.
With them. Yeah, that's a little too close.
Like real close, yeah.
Yeah.
That's that piece that had all the woodpecker holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed that. I walked out there, I put my hand right here.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice there was a bunch of birds just chilling there. Wow. We find all kinds of things in trees.
Right.
So the plan is that they're going to cut it flat at the ground, see if the crane can pick it, and if not, they're gonna whack some more off the top. Fine, just when I don't land on that. Yeah, you're fine. I just don't want it to land on your strap.
Not much.
There you go. Hold there. Down.
Nice and gentle lag.
Hang on, that one's. No, no. Just come straight up with it.
Keep going straight.
Yeah, there you go. Kind of a long day, but we got 7,500 pounds on the trailer. And then in the back of the truck, those two cookies that were cut off the bottom, 900 pounds and 1,100 pounds. So we got a lot of wood. Time to drive home. Easy ride home, although a little drizzly, but otherwise nice and smooth. Easy. I like easy. You can tell it was getting late in the day because I put these blocks in here the wrong way to be able to just come in here and fork these things out of here like a dummy. Okay, I'm out trying to pick up the rest of the logs today. These are the ones that got set in the grapple truck, and they wouldn't have fit on the trailer with everything anyway. Now, what I was hoping to do was just chain them all together and load them as a single unit, but it's going to be too big to even pass through the arch or go past the fenders either. So these would have to be loaded probably with a grapple truck to be able to maneuver them and position them to nest them all nicely on there. The guys are all out of jobs today, and just timing wise, I'm here by myself to load these. So I think we'll get this first chunk here. This is going to be one of the crotches that was on top of the log that we hauled back yesterday. This piece here, this is the only piece of limb wood that was fairly straight. It was sticking like pretty well straight up in the air as it came off of one of these crotches here. This is the one that had the cable in it, so that is probably going to be the only one that I thought that would be a decent piece of limb wood that could become stable wood in the future. And the problem with limb wood is it has so much tension in it because the limbs are they're not vertical, they're at some kind of angle to the ground, so they have tension and compression in them, so they're very reactionary. You can cut and dry all that stuff only to then bring it into your shop to start making something out of it, and then the piece that you're trying to make won't stay flat. It keeps warping and twisting and doing all kinds of weird stuff, and you basically have to end up throwing it away because you can't make anything out of it. Otherwise, you got to make small pieces out of it. I mean, it seems like it's going to be free to move just fine. Okay, let's rig it for loading, I guess. These ones are tough because they're so, like, the weight distribution is weird. So I got this huge chunk of mass here, which is going to want to torque down. So these are always challenging. Crotches with limbs sticking out of them. The only thing that's more challenging is cutting this and only having this and trying to load this little tiny piece. But this is how I got started. Loading logs like this, all sizes and shapes. That's the only thing I could do, I guess. That's what I had to do. We caught one. Oh, we caught the cable. How the heck did that get caught up in there? That's scary. I don't really want to be near that. Look at how did this even get wrapped up in there? It's like through a link. Look at this. It's like wrapped up inside of that link. Oh, I see, it got kinked and got stuck inside the link. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, this thing's, there's so much weight over here that it's already on the trailer, so we'll just hook to the log and pull it the rest of the way on now. I'm actually going to see if I can scoot this thing over just a little bit. There. Okay. Oh, right there. Let's go home. Okay, we're back picking up this guy. The heavy end is against the building right now. So I'm gonna try and spin this thing around and get it positioned better. And that should be an easy load onto the trailer. I'd like to get this more this way. There we go. Let's see if that helps it spin. Another thing I can do to make it spin is to get the arch over the center of mass and pick the whole thing up off the ground and just spin it by hand. That doesn't sound as much fun with this goofy shape, trying to figure out where its center of mass actually is. Come on, slide, slide. There you go. Thank you. Okay, with that, we're at that other piece back here. That brings the total weight of wood recovered to 17,000 pounds. So it's 8.5 tons of material from this one tree. It is, that's quite a bit. And actually what's really cool is I didn't realize, like looking at the tree, all these aerial roots, like they're way up there in some of the other pieces that were on top of this. So I think that's gonna make for some really interesting and unique things where we get into the sections of the tree where these aerial roots tie in. That should make for some really interesting and unique grain. So now for all the work that goes into converting these into something. First thing here is we get them back, get them put away until we're ready to saw them. End sealing. This is going to seal up the ends and prevent the ends of the log from drying faster than the rest of it. Because this is all end grain, it freely loses moisture, and as wood loses moisture, it shrinks, and the end is basically shrinking faster than something back here or in the middle. That causes stress to build up to the point where the wood splits, and you end up with a bunch of splits in the end. This helps to preserve some more length, because otherwise you have a bunch of cracks on the ends of your boards that you either have to cut off or stabilize. So this just helps to increase the yield. This is a purpose-based end grain sealer. It's made for this. It's a wax emulsion. On the end of the log here, we do have a little bit of shake. This is ring shake, so it actually separates along the growth rings. And then we have normal shake here, where it's a split across the growth rings. And then there's some internal cracks in here too. So there's a few little structural defects here and towards the middle, some bark inclusions, but nothing too crazy. And I think it's going to add to the character and the story of this tree. This is cool. There's a lot of really cool like coloring as the heartwood bleeds into the sapwood. So I think this is, at least by weight, the most amount of tree that I have ever recovered or salvaged. There's like 17,000 pounds of elm laying here in the field, which is absolutely ridiculous. Big thank you to the folks at SavATree for reaching out to me and making this all possible, and being so welcoming and inviting to me being there on the job site. And of course, a big thank you to the homeowner, Jenny, for sharing the story of the tree with us and allowing us to be a part of this whole thing. I am working with her to come up with some kind of project to make from this elm to allow the tree to live on forever and to help remind her of the sentimental value that the tree held. So once we come up with a few ideas of what we're thinking about to make from this tree, we can get this thing onto the sawmill. We can make sure we get exactly what we're going to need for those potential future projects, and then whatever else we'll be able to get out of this, which is quite a lot of material, because this is a lot of wood. So thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate. If you have any questions or comments on urban logging, urban tree salvage, and urban lumber and all that stuff, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.